I started music production in the year 2020 and I've been doing a lot of composition, mixing, mastering, teaching. I've been putting out tutorials on social media, on YouTube and Instagram for the past 4 years. And I've always had one question at the start of my career, and that is, how do I get clients for music production? For the first 1 year or 1.5 years or so, I had no answer to this. And I was just trying out lots of different methods and trying to find ways to get work. And right now I've been getting a lot of work, especially on mixing and mastering. And I want to share about how to properly get clients for music production related services. I will be sharing you a lot of tips that I've learned along the way. So maybe 1 or 2 tips will help you, and in turn you will find work through this. I'm Florina Jain, otherwise known as Flow of Music, and I put out a lot of music production related videos. So if that's something that you like, then hit the subscribe button. So let's get into the video. Now, when we talk about getting work in music production related aspects, we need to first find a source. Now, what do I mean by source? What do you think will be the main area through which you will get clients? Is it through word of mouth? Is it through advertising? Is it maybe approaching many studios that's nearby your house? Is it maybe social media marketing? What do you think will be the source to get clients? First, think about that. For me, personally, it was social media, and I started putting out a lot of music production related tutorials. And through that, a lot of clients approached me. They emailed me regarding, composition or mixing or mastering or vocal tuning, all sorts of services like that. And that's how I got my work. So my source was social media. So if you are somebody who doesn't like putting themselves out on social media and you want another method, maybe you can think about approaching studios. If you have studios nearby, go ahead, and if you've got a demo or if you've done something on your own and you just want to show that to some studios nearby, go ahead and do that and see if they are willing to hire you as an intern or willing to give you some very tiny work. That's how it will happen in the beginning. If that's not working for you, then you need to start approaching people you know. So maybe you know 1 or 2 music producers or someone who works in music. Even if they are small artists, that's fine. Start working with them. Maybe approach them and tell them that you are willing to mix and master their songs. So get a very, very minimal fee for that and just work with them. That might be your first client. And slowly tell them to give you a review, and you can use that review and that project to boost and find other clients. So this might be through word of mouth. So there are so many other ways by which you can get clients, but find your source and maximize that source. Now, when I started in 2020 and when I started putting out videos, I never instantly got clients. I think it took almost 5 months or 4 months to get my first client. And honestly, after doing the work for the first client, it made me so happy. But again, for the second client to come, it took a long time. And that was the time I really sat down to really learn and understand about mixing and practice a lot with some demo tracks that I had or something that I downloaded. So that was the time I utilized for learning. And after a while, I got my second client. Eventually, after that, I started getting clients slowly because I got a lot more reach on my social media platforms. And that's how all of this worked. So all my clients till date, they come to me through social media. And after that, it is probably word of mouth. So the client likes my work, they will tell it to someone else, and the other person will come to me for the same mixing mastering service. So this is how my source has expanded. Think about it and write down your sources, and whatever you think will work or whatever you think might be better than everything else, just work on that source. So what do you need to maximize that source? Think about that and just write down some ideas. And don't be disappointed during the time you don't get clients. Work on your skill. If your skill is arrangement, then work on arrangement. Like if you can find someone who just does singing for a hobby, just tell them to sing a song and you take care of the arrangement process. Keep practicing and keep building a lot. Tell your friends to sing. Tell your friends to play the guitar if they play the guitar. And whatever you want to practice using that track. You will probably not get a lot of learning time after you start getting clients. Now for me, there are weeks when I didn't learn and all I did was work, or I kept shooting videos, I kept teaching, I was working on clients' tracks. I didn't have time to learn. So that was the time I realized that I need to step aside and again go back to the basics and learn a little bit. So that precious time, you will only get it during the beginning. So make sure to utilize that time and keep learning a lot. There are also a number of free websites available for you where you can download stems, just raw stems, and you can practice mixing and mastering. I'll link a couple of those websites in my description so you can try and check them out. So there are so many sources available for you through social media. Utilize that, keep learning, find your source and maximize it through that source. The next step is about building networks and connections. Now we use social media for all sorts of things. We just sit and we keep scrolling and scrolling mindlessly. We play games. We are just stuck in a world of videos. And instead of using social media in that manner, why not utilize it for our work? And I'm not talking about putting out videos. I'm just talking about building connections. So if you've done the first step and you're practicing, and obviously when you're practicing, you're going to have a lot of tracks. You are downloading stems and practicing, you're practicing with a friend. So you might have demo projects with you. Now utilize those demo projects and present it to potential clients. Now what you can do is search on Instagram. So let's say you want to mix and master, and that is what you want to continue as your job. So you need to find people who just put out raw tracks on your Instagram feed, and you can probably offer to mix and master them for a very, very marginal price, because you're also just starting and maybe they are not also into mixing and mastering. So maybe to consider your offer needs to be very, very marginable. Just search on Instagram saying singers and you will get a bunch of reels. Just go through that and see who's singing you personally like and whom you think you can improve through your mixing and mastering. Once you figure out a person like that, message them on Instagram. Go ahead and text them saying, hey, I'm so and so. I've been doing mixing and mastering for a while. These are some of my tracks. I listened to a couple of your reels and I'm really a fan of your voice. But I also think that because you're putting it raw, it can be enhanced a lot more through mixing and mastering. So will you be willing to collaborate with me and I can mix and master it for this price? So you can probably say, normally I do mixing and mastering for so and so price, but I'm willing to do it for you in this price because I am a fan of your work. As simple as that. If you put that text, at least 5 or 6 people on a daily basis, one among that will at least come and say yes. Right? So, but just make sure you don't put a price very high. Keep it very reasonable. Our target right now is to bring in clients. We are not trying to make money right now. Obviously, money comes gradually. We cannot expect money to be very large and we cannot expect money to come in immediately. So, just be patient. So, try and approach people like this through social media. Find out people who not just sing or not just play an instrument, who does something very different, and you feel like you want to give your creativity through mixing and mastering through that. Sometimes you can just randomly download their sample or just take a screen record of it, do your own style to it, and then present that to them and say, this is something that I did in your beat, so will you be willing to work with me on a lot more projects or something like that. Just put out text. That's what I'm trying to say. If you find an email in their page, then that's way more professional. So try and approach them by mailing them. So these are different ways by which you can build networks, you can build connections, and in turn, you can find clients through them. Suppose somebody likes your work, they're going to be a repeat client to you. You're also going to get work. They're also going to have an enhanced audio, and everyone has a win-win situation right now. And when you approach and work with people like this, your portfolio is in turn getting bigger and your portfolio is now going to have a lot more value. So as you keep doing things like this, automatically your client number will increase. You'll also get to learn, and you'll also learn to network better with people with similar interests like you. And one more thing before we move to the next point, always support other artists. When you see another artist on social media, go comment on their post. Go tell them that their work is good, and that's how you also build support. If you are expecting support, you need to give support to that artist. Now, the third and the most important point is to build a nice professional website and in turn put your portfolio also inside that. Now, that is going to be very professional. So as you keep, getting small projects or you do some small work on your own, put them on a professional website. Now, if you're thinking, oh, website costs a lot to make, I need to hire a website builder or I need to pay a subscription to a particular website builder to do that for me, not at all necessary. There are a lot of websites that are completely free. You just need to sit for some time and customize your website. I know Wix has a free website builder for you. Solo.io is another one. So there are so many websites that are completely free. If you want AI integrated websites, and then the website that I use is something called as Pineapple, and that's a really good website which also has some integrated AI in it. That will really help you get some ideas when you want to develop a particular page or whatever. So there are unlimited options available for you in the market. You need to build a website where people can come and see your work. If it is mixing and mastering, can they see your work through your website? If it is teaching, can they see that in your website? Have you put out reviews about the work that you've done and the client reviews that you've got? Have you put that on your website? So only then a potential client will get credibility about you, and they will in turn build trust. And also when they see your work, they will in turn like your work, and then they'll approach you. It's an extra step for a client to come and ask you like, hey, have you done any mixing mastering projects? Can I have a look at your mixing mastering projects? That's another extra step, and you might lose a lot of clients because of that extra step. Okay, so to make it user friendly and to make sure that you're providing all the details to the client in their hand, make sure you provide all your details inside your website. And portfolio is something you can submit it to clients also. Suppose you don't want to go and click links and all that, you can just send your portfolio highlighting the main track that you mixed and mastered and a main track that you composed, or something that really highlights or really puts you apart from everyone else. So that kind of tracks, you can present that in your portfolio and send that to clients. When you build something like this, it brings out a lot more credibility and a lot more professionalism in your work. And that is something that clients will really look forward to. So once your website is out, you can put that out and you can send that links to everyone. You can put that on social media, and you can also use that to build network and connectivity. Just be mindful of this. It does take time to build a proper business. And what we are talking about music, again, we are talking about it in terms of business. We need clients. Obviously, we need clients to get better work, to earn, and to do all things like that. And any business will take time. So we need to put in that effort. Let's assume I'm continuing to practice mixing and mastering, I'm constantly practicing, but no one knows that. Also, I'm just keeping all my practices to myself. I'm not even putting it out. And I'm not even asking, let's say on social media, let's say to people that, do you have clients? And I'm just keeping it to myself. I'm just expecting the work to just come and lie on my lap. It will not happen that way. We need to put in that extra step. Yes, practice is a must that we need to do. But then if you want clients, what are you doing to get clients? Are you approaching people? Are you putting it out on social media? Are you trying to network and build that? Are you trying to, do something, a collaboration or something with a friend, putting it out so that somebody will like that work and in turn come to you for mixing, mastering or whatever? Only when that step happens will you get clients. Otherwise, you will not get clients. So finding the right source to get clients is important. Building network and connectivity, building relationships with other artists, supporting other artists will in turn help you grow, and you will get their support as well. And finally, utilizing all these things and building a portfolio and a website and making sure that looks very professional is another major step to get clients. So I have attached all the links that I've mentioned in the description. You can check that out. If you've got more questions regarding getting clients, and if you feel like you have another point that you want to deliver, then put them in the comments and let us all grow as a community. Thank you so much for watching. Keep making music, and I'll see you guys in another video.